بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله وسلم على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. We're continuing in the manzuma, what is commonly known as aqeedatus saffaareeniyyah by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Ahmad al-Saffaareeni rahimahullah ta'ala, explained by Sheikh Muhammad ibn Salih al-Uthaymin rahimahullah ta'ala. We've been discussing over our last few sittings the issue concerning the R.E.D.A of Allah Azza wa Jalla. We pick up tonight and we continue on where the Shaykh is mentioning and striking forth the examples of the way that the irada of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can be that which is makruhan and that which is mahbooban, that which can be from one standpoint that which is disliked and hated, and from another standpoint that which can be loved or preferred. And he mentioned some examples of things that can be both. They can be both at the same time, makruhan and mahbooban. One of the issues he mentioned is the issue concerning the individual who may do something that is disliked, but in order to bring about a good outcome or beneficial outcome, so it is disliked from one standpoint in its essence, that thing is disliked. For example, kufr, disbelief. It is that which in its essence is something that is disliked, it is hated, it is something that is disgusting in the sight of Allah Azza wa Jal. But from another standpoint, due to other circumstances and things that surround it, it becomes something that is mahbooban. Had it not been for kufr, how could one really recognize iman? Had it not been for kufr, how would the legislation of jihad fi sabilillah be established? Only because of kufr, right? And the Shaykh then he goes on and he mentions, after we mentioned the athar which we stopped on last night of Umar radiallahu ta'ala an, the Shaykh he goes on and he just mentions and he says the line of poetry فَبِضِدِّهَا تَتَبَيَّنُ الْأَشْيَاء. And this is a very beautiful line of poetry here that is used as a qaida or a principle concerning many affairs. And that is the line in which the poet he states, وَبِضِدِّهَا تَتَبَيَّنُ الْأَشْيَاء. And it's from another group of poetry in which the author he states, الدِّدْ يُظْهِرُهُ حُسْنُهُ دِدْ. This is how he begins it. الدِّدْ يُظْهِرُهُ حُسْنُهُ الدِّدْ. That the opposite of something allows the beauty of that opposite to be seen. Right? When one has two opposites, one of them allows the beauty of that opposite of it to be manifest, right? Like the benefit and the beauty of light. Darkness allows the beauty of light to be manifest, right? Knowledge allows ignorance allows the beauty of knowledge to be manifest. If one does not know ignorance and has not seen ignorance, never can value and see the true beauty and benefit in knowledge. Likewise, light or darkness. If one doesn't see darkness and have darkness, how can he truly benefit and value and appreciate light, right? So the poet, he said that. That opposite thing brings the beauty of its opposite out. وَبِدِدِّهَا تَتَبَيَّنُ الْأَشْيَاء. And by opposites, things are made clear. On one narration, تَتَمَيَّز, things are distinguished. طيب? The Shaykh says, anyway, فَالْحَاصِل أن نقول جوابا على هذا الإرادة الشائك كيف يكون في ملك الله عز وجل شيء يقرهه وهو الذي أراده. In a nutshell, the Shaykh he mentions is that we say, responding to the person who has some type of doubt, that will say, how is it possible that there can be anything in the mulk of Allah, in the dominion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, something that he dislikes, وهو الذي أراده, while at the same time he is the one who has intended it. How is this possible? He says, الجواب أن هذا المكروه إلى الله مكروه إليه لذاته محبوب إليه لغيره فهو مكروه محبوب من وجهين. And he just repeats himself And he says that this is something that is disliked to Allah in its essence, but it is beloved due to other circumstances and things that surround it. So it is disliked and loved or preferred from two standpoints or two angles. فَإِنْ قَالَ قَائِلٌ هَلْ هَذَا مُمْكِنٌ? And if a person was to say, well, is this even possible? قُلْنَا نَعَمْ. We say, yes, this is possible. وَنَضْرِبُ لَهُ مَثَلًا بِمَاذَا؟ بِالرَّجُلِ يَقْوِي إِبْنَهُ الْمَرِيدِ لِيَشْفِيهِ فَالْكَيْ مَقْرُوهٌ لِذَاتِهِ لَكِنَّهُ مَحْبُوبٌ لِغَيْرِهِ. صح? He says, we say, yes, this is possible. And we strike forth for you the example. What example? The example of the man who cauterized or burnt his son who was sick. Right? He put the hot iron on his son, put the hot metal on his son that was sick in order to do what? In order to cure him, in order to give him the remedy. In order to treat him. فَالْكَيْ مَقْرُوهٌ. This particular procedure is something that is disliked, it is hated in itself. But due to that which is the outcome of other circumstances that surround it, it becomes something that is mahboob. And we mentioned an example for us that we can all relate to, taking your child to the doctor to get a shot, right? Or to get any other procedure that may cause pain, may cause difficulty upon that child. A child that has reached a certain age now, circumcision, whatever it may be, it's difficult. You don't want to see this child go through that. But at the same time, even though the essence of this harm, pricking the child, sticking a needle in the skin of the child, in the arm or the leg or whatever, is not liked. Not like to see the child suffer and cry. But the outcome of it, the reason for it, this procedure, the actual remedy that takes place, or the vaccination or whatever it is to keep away harm, is something that is preferred. Now, in summary of what we have previously mentioned, is أن الإرادة تنقسم إلى قسمين, that the irada is divided into two types. إرادة قولية وإرادة شرعية. فما معنى كل واحدة? So we have these two types of irada, قولية and شرعية. So what is the meaning of each one of them? الإرادة القولية, in summarizing, هي التي بمعنى المشيئة، والشرعية هي التي بمعنى المحبة، مع الفرق بينهما من حيث الحكم. So the iradatul qawniyah, it is that which carries the meaning of al-mashi'ah. And iradatul shar'iyyah, it is that which carries the meaning of al-mahabba, the will of Allah, and that which Allah Ta'ala loves and is pleased with. So what is the difference between the two from the standpoint of the ruling? Al-farqul awwal, the first difference between the two. The first difference between the two. This is the point here where we make the talab, where we seek knowledge. The first of the difference is al-iradatul qawniyya yalzam fiha wuqu'ul murad fama aradahu Allah qawnan fala budda an yaqa'. The iradatul qawniyya, it necessitates that which is going to occur, that Allah Ta'ala intends. It is that which mandates, it is that which necessitates within it the occurrence of that which Allah Ta'ala has willed or intended. فَمَا أَرَادَهُ اللَّهُ قَوْنًا. So whatever Allah Ta'ala wills, قَوْنًا, from His universal will, فَلَا بُدَّ أَن يَقَعْ. And it is a must. And it is certainly that it is going to what? Happen. فَالْإِرَادَةُ الشَّرْعِيَّةُ لَا يَلْزَمْ فِيهَا وُقُوعُ الْمُرَادِ أي أن الله تعالى قد يريد الشيء شرعا وقد لا يقع. Iradatul Shar'iyyah does not necessitate that within this irada, what Allah Ta'ala has intended is going to take place. Tayyib? Meaning that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala قَدْ يُرِيدُ الشَّيْء شَرْعًا. Allah Ta'ala perhaps or sometimes, in many cases, Allah Ta'ala intends something from the legislative standpoint. From the legislative standpoint. وَقَدْ لَا يَقَعْ. But in many cases, or in some cases, what happens? It does not occur. Alright? And here we'll say qad bima'na taqdir. In this case, it does not. In many cases, it does not occur. Right? وَالْفَرْقُ الثَّانِ, the second difference between the two is al-iradatu qawniyya amatun lima yuhibbuhu Allah wa ma la yuhibbuhu. Al-iradatu qawniyya is that which it is broad. Right? And it is more universal. And it encompasses that which Allah Ta'ala loves and is pleased with, and that which Allah Ta'ala does not love and is not pleased with. Fahmtani? You understand? Abdul Rahman? Kamar, you follow? MashaAllah. وَالْإِرَادَةُ الشَّرْعِيَّةُ خَاصَةٌ فِي مَا يُحِبُّهُ اللَّهُ. But the irada that is shar'iyya is specifically dealing with those things that Allah Ta'ala loves and is pleased with. This is the difference between the two by way of the hukm. Al-Farq al-Awwal, the first one, Kawniyya and Shari'iyya. What is the difference between the two? Kawniyya is dealing with those things that are going to occur what Allah Ta'ala has intended. And there is no escaping this occurrence. Al-Shari'iyya what? Perhaps in many cases, that which He has intended shar'an, in many cases, or some cases it occurs, and in many cases it does not occur. Alright? The difference from another standpoint is that al-kawniyya is dealing with everything that Allah loves and is pleased with, or things that Allah does not love and is pleased with. With shar'iyya is only dealing with those things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves and is pleased with. Even, and shay'ul waqi' najzim anna fihi al-iradatu al-kawniyya li'annahu waqi'. This is a qa'idah. Therefore, we are certain that which occurs, we are decisive, no doubt within us, that which occurs is by way of iradatul qawniyya because it has occurred, because it has happened. وَلَكِنْ هَلْ فِيهِ الْإِرَادَةُ الشَّرْعِيَّةُ. But we ask ourselves, when something occurs, is the irada al-shar'iyya included in this? Is it connected to this one here? The Shaykh says, نَنْظُرْ. We investigate. قَدْ يَقُونَ وَقَدْ لَا يَقُونَ. Right? It could be there or could not be there. Right? لَا نَقُولْ لَا. We don't decisively and adamantly say no, that the iradatul shar'iyya is not within that which has occurred of kawniyya. وَلَا نَعْمْ. And nor do we say decisively, yes, it's not black and white. Ya tulab, it's not black and white. Very important concept here. Because in many cases, when we begin to learn and we begin to read and we learn something, the first thing we say is yes or no. Haram or halal. Alright? And in many cases, that's not always the case. Alright? Nanzur, we investigate. Alright? قَدْ يَكُونْ هَكَذَا وَقَدْ يَكُونْ هَكَذَا. Perhaps it's like this and perhaps it's like that. But it may not be just one definite cut and dry yes or no. And if you really follow the teachings and the mannerisms and the way that the people of knowledge, the scholars they teach, you will rarely find them saying yes or no, definitely, just like that, and leaving it alone. No, very rarely. Alright? Nanzur, we investigate and we look. And before we mention that, I just want to give one example. We're probably close enough. I just want to give one example from an experience. What do you say? I'm giving you all this question. What do you say about the ruling? What is the ruling of concealing knowledge? Haram or la? Concealing knowledge. You have knowledge and you conceal it. Someone comes to you seeking some knowledge about a certain thing and you know the answer, yet you conceal this knowledge. Don't think too hard on it. Just answer what normally, if someone was to tell you this, can a person do this? Ya akhi, can a person do this or can he not do this? What are you going to say?
It depends.
Huh?
Depends.
You going to say it depends? Been honest. You say depends? Inshallah, good answer. Most of the people want to say no. Most of the people, if you say, hey, can you keep knowledge? Most of the people say, yeah. Matter of fact, before they even say that, most of the people come and say, if they see someone knows, you can't conceal knowledge. That's the knowledge, man. You gotta give it. You can't, you know what I mean? Can't be quiet about that. Alright? It's not always the case. It's not always the case. And Sheikh Sulaiman al-Ruhaili, Hafidhullah Ta'ala, who teaches in the Prophet's Masjid, I was sitting in a class and he was dealing with this issue. And he was dealing with this issue of concealing knowledge. Right? Of concealing knowledge. And he mentioned to the people, he said, concealing knowledge, in most cases, the people, they think concealing knowledge is just black and white, haram, you can't do it. He said, but it falls under the ahkamul khamsa. He said concealing knowledge falls under the ahkam al-khamsa. The point that I'm trying to connect to here is that we have to investigate issues, and we have to look at issues, and we have to make decisions based upon that which is knowledge-based, that which is based upon principles, that which is based upon wisdom, that which is based upon circumstances and the people you're dealing with always. Right? So we investigate things and we look into the affair, and we don't just say yes, no. We don't just say wajib, mustahab, halal, haram, and just leave it at that. Right? He said it falls under the ahkam al-khamsa. And I was like, subhanAllah. And then he broke this thing down in every single example and way to show. He said, قَدْ يَكُونُ wajib. He said, perhaps it becomes wajib at times to conceal knowledge. And he gave an example for that. If the knowledge that the person is seeking from you, if you was to tell them was going to cause some type of harm or great evil or something with regards to that person, he's not ready for you to tell him that particular knowledge. Right? You're not ready for that knowledge. It's not the circumstance of the people. You shouldn't be giving the people this type of knowledge, even though they're seeking it. They're not ready for this. It becomes wajib to conceal the knowledge, or it's going to lead to an evil. It's going to lead to some harm. It is wajib to conceal that knowledge and not allow that person to know that he is allowed to do that. Maybe he's seeking something from you. You know, if he does this, it's going to be a harm come out of it. Maybe you want to divorce his wife or something. Can I do this? If this happens, can I? Maybe you want to keep it away. It's not a good thing. Then sometimes knowledge becomes mustahab. It becomes what? Recommended that you conceal it. If you give it, it's okay. But it is recommended that it will be best that you conceal it in this state. Then concealing knowledge becomes that which is what? Haram. It's haram upon you to conceal it. You have to tell the person that which is the truth, that which is correct concerning this. Sometimes it becomes makruh, disliked. Right? It's disliked to conceal it. But if you conceal it, there's no fault upon the individual, but it's disliked in this particular situation. And the Shaykh, of course, I didn't memorize the daras, but he gave an example for each and every one of them, right? And then it goes to become mubah. It can become allowable. There's no particular command or prohibition connected to this. That's what mubah is. No command or prohibition connected to it. It's allowable, right? You have been commanded to conceal in this situation, nor have you been commanded to actually reveal it in this situation. It's mubah. From the ahkam al-khamsa, wajib, mustahab, haram, makruh, mubah. Right? So the point of the matter is that we need to investigate, we need to look into affairs before we are so quick to jump and say this is not allowed. We need to understand the qawaid and the circumstances. Right? Ya akhi, can I go and teach in this masjid? No. Are you people of sunnah? No, you can't. Just no? Why? It's just flat out black and white. No. Can I pray? No. You can't go there. No. Can you go around? No, you can't. Right? It's flat out no. No, this is not how we look at situations. And this is, unfortunately, this is the state of the people today. Straight up, would they hear one thing? No. Have no dalil, no knowledge, no understanding, no principles, no anything. No usul, no qawaid, nothing. So he says, nanzur. We look, we don't say yes, we don't say no. إن كان هذا الواقع مما يحبه الله ففيه الإرادتان القولية والشرعية. اسمع. If that which occurred is from that which Allah Ta'ala loves and is pleased with, then in this is both al-iradatan, kawniyah and shar'iyah. Why is it both? Ibn Dawud. From one standpoint, and it has occurred from the other standpoint. Ahsant. Barakallahu feek. Because Allah is pleased with it from one standpoint, so it's shar'iyan, and from the other standpoint, it has occurred, so it can be both. قونيا and شرعيا وكونا وشرعا وإن كان مما لا يحب ففيه الإرادة القونية وليس فيه الإرادة الشرعية. And if it is something that occurred that Allah does not love, is not pleased with, then it can't be شرعية, it has to be what? قونية. وإذا كان الشيء لم يقع فإننا نجزم بانتفاء الإرادة القونية فيه نقول هذا ليس فيه إرادة قونية. And this is what we talked about last night when we said inshallah, or maybe the night before. If it is something that has not occurred, then we لم يقع فإننا نجزم بانتفاء الإرادة القونية. If it's something that has not occurred, then we are decisive. We are very sure that this thing right here is not al-iradatu qawniyyah. Right, Sheikh? Sahih? هذا ليس فيه إرادة قونية. There is no إرادة قونية in this because it didn't occur لأنه ما وقع. هل ننفي الإرادة الشرعية عنه أو لا? But do we negate a شرعية from it if it hasn't occurred or not? ننظر, we investigate. Not yes, not no. هل يحبه الله فتكون الإرادة الشرعية ثابتة فيه? Is this something that Allah loves and is pleased with even though it did not occur? We look and we investigate. If it is something Allah is pleased with, even though it did not occur, we still say it's irad to shari'ah. And this is the hukum, brothers, in which we say that it's important to let the people know, those who like to say insha'Allah, and they have no intention whatsoever to do what it is that they should be doing from the legislative standpoint. We say no, Allah Ta'ala has already made it His irada. He already made it. Even though it is not mashi'ah, even though it is not waqi, it has not occurred, it's not kawniyah, but shar'iyatan, Allah Ta'ala has willed it. Again, the example. Ya akhi, you never get up for Fajr and pray. When do you want to pray? Insha'Allah. Insha'Allah. You're using that wrong, brother. Allah Ta'ala, He loves and is pleased with you to get up from His irada to shar'iyyah. It has already been willed. He has legislated it. It is intended. أو يقرحه فتكون الإرادة الشرعية غير ثابتة فيه. So he says we investigate if it is something that Allah Ta'ala loves and it is al-iradatu shar'iyyah has been affirmed or established in it, or yaqrahuhu, it is something that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala dislikes, fatakunu al-iradatu, it should be fatakunu iradatu shar'iyyah غير ثابتة فيه, يعني the iradatu shar'iyyah is not existing or established within this here. Inshallah Ta'ala, we will stop here tonight bi'idhnillahi azza wa jalla. And we ask Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala to give us fiqh fi deen and allow us to understand this religion in a manner that it should be understood, and make us amongst people who, when we hear the speech, we follow the best of it. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. No.
I want you to make some clarifications, like the example you gave, if you want to come to Fajr,